We didn't win by a lot, but we won by enough, and that's all that counts.
Well, it may certainly have been a win, but as they say, if you torture the statistics for long enough, eventually they'll confess. And a plain look at the numbers shows that 2012 could be shaping up to be a potentially very bad year for the Republican Party. Welcome back to Loose Talk. This week, in the wake of Romney's narrow squeak in his home state of Michigan and his bigger win in Arizona, and just a few days in advance of Super Tuesday, we take a more distanced look at the impetus of this Republican primary and ask whether 2012 is shaping up to be a disastrous year for the GOP.
And thank you, Michigan. What a win. This is a big night. Thanks, you guys.
There are two reasons for thinking that the auguries are not good at the moment. The first is the fact that this is a deeply divided, philosophically divided Republican Party.
Well, I voted for Mitt Romney today, and I just think that he's a man of good principles, and I think he'll take us in the direction that I'd like to see the country go.
I'm probably going to vote for Santorum. I'm just not convinced that Romney's as conservative as he's trying to make himself out to be.
Those in the Republican Party who continue to see the glass as half full point to parallels with the 2008 Democratic primary, in which, in spite of a bitterly divisive primary contest between Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, the party still united behind their nominee for the general election, Barack Obama, who then, of course, went on to sweep the elections in November. This is not that kind of primary, though.
I think Republicans have to recognize there's a real effort to kidnap our primary process. And if we want Republicans to nominate the Republican who takes on Barack Obama, I need Republicans to get out and vote. And
remember, the divisions between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama were almost all about character and personality in 2008, in very, very striking contrast. What divides Mitt Romney from Rick Santorum, from Ron Paul, from Newt Gingrich, reach down into far deeper, instinctive, diverging tendencies within the Republican Party. Remember, Barack Obama appointed Hillary Clinton as his Secretary of State. It's very hard to imagine a President Romney inviting Newt Gingrich or Rick Santorum, for example, to join his administration. Far from being an Abraham Lincoln-Obama team of rivals approach, it would look more like a circular firing squad.
Romney and his super PAC have spent a staggering $20 million brutally attacking fellow Republicans. Why? Because Romney's trying to hide from his big government Romneycare and his support for job-killing cap and trade. And in the end, Mitt Romney's ugly attacks are going to backfire.
Those in the Republican establishment who were wearing their rose-tinted glasses also say that this process, again like 2008, will result in a much stronger nominee for the general election, somebody whose mettle has been tested and whose vulnerabilities have been probed in the primary process. Again, though, that comparison is almost certainly misleading. Unlike Obama and Clinton, who didn't allow themselves to be dragged too far to the left in the 2008 primary, Mitt Romney is being dragged further to the right as this process goes on, as he endeavors to limp towards the finishing line.
You know, a week ago, it was just a week ago, the pundits and the pollsters, they were ready to count us out.
Secondly, because these divisions are more ideological, the real comparison isn't with the Democrats in 2008, it's with the Republican Party in 1964, where Barry Goldwater, the far-right conservative candidate, fought a bitter and prolonged ideological battle with the Rockefeller wing of the Republican Party, resulting in one of its worst ever presidential election defeats against LBJ that following November.
Back in July in San Francisco, the Republicans held a convention. Remember him? He was there. Governor Rockefeller. Before the convention, he said Barry Goldwater's positions can, and I quote, spell disaster for the party and for the country. Or him, Governor Scranton. The day before the convention, he called Goldwaterism a, quote, crazy quilt collection of absurd and dangerous positions. Or this man, Governor Romney. In June, he said Goldwater's nomination would lead to the, quote, suicidal destruction of the Republican Party. So, Even if you're a Republican with serious doubts about Barry Goldwater, you're in good company. Vote for President Johnson on November 3rd. The stakes are too high for you to stay home.
Which brings us to our odd moment of the week. The resignation of Olympia Snowe, the Republican moderate senator from Maine on Tuesday, reminded us that not only the augury is bad for the GOP in the looming White House election for November, but also for elections at many other levels, not least for the US Senate and the House of Representatives. Snowe was one of the last surviving real moderate Republicans in the US Senate, and indeed her support was absolutely critical to Obama's pushing through the $787 billion stimulus package in early 2009. Without that package, the US economy could have plunged into depression. Snowe's departure shows that the Republican Party continues to travel away from the political center, where, after all, in most cycles, at most times, elections are normally won. We will see you next week on Loose Talk following the Super Tuesday primary, in which 10 states vote all on one day, the largest single primary of the whole calendar.